Hey everyone, today I'm going to be showing you a quick tutorial on EZDrummer 2. So to start off, as you can see on my screen, I already have my drums mapped out. There's two ways to really do this. The first way is the way I did it, where I already had basically the song tabbed out, I knew what I was doing, and then I just kind of went into the program and started working on the drums. This is a good way to do it, but if there's any issues down the road, it's really a pain to fix. Now I should state, because you see EZDrummer on top of the Reaper program I'm using, that these two programs are not joined, like they would be if I opened EZDrummer inside of Reaper as a VST. If you haven't guessed yet, that is the second way to do it. It's a lot more efficient. After doing it my original way a few times now, I definitely do it the second way. It just makes it a lot easier, especially if you've already got your guitar recorded, everything's mapped out, your clicks proper. It makes more sense in the long run. Okay, so now that you finished your drums, what do? First, you want to go down to this box at the bottom right corner, click Track, and then export the Midi. This should be exported to the main folder where your song is. A little bit of organization will go a long way. Next, you'll want to set up your mixer inside of EZDrummer. This should carry over when you open up EZDrummer in your DAW. If it doesn't, I'll have a section a little later in this video showing how to add it again. I'd suggest copying my settings just to make it a little easier for you. I'll post them right after this. Ignore me hitting don't save. You should probably save because I already have my settings and you don't. Now we're in Reaper. First, I'm going to show you how to set up EZDrummer on one of your tracks. As you can see, I already have EZDrummer loaded in on a track. What you'll want to do is go to where you'll load in your plugins and select EZDrummer. After it opens up, you want to go into your mixer and make sure all your settings are set to how they should be. I'll have the settings posted again. So next thing you want to do is go to the main area where you have all your tracks and create an individual track for every drum piece you have. So kick, snare, hi-hat, etc. You also want to make sure all those tracks are routed directly to your EZDrummer track. That's very important or else this won't work. The easiest way to do this is to select the routing options for your EZDrummer track and then go to Add New Send on the left. As you can see, I already have mine set up. If you look at the bottom left of each track, you can see audio. Each one has a certain number that correlates to the mixer and EZDrummer that we set up previously. So now that you have all your tracks in and everything's routed, you can go ahead and import your Midi. Make sure the EZDrummer track is selected. That way when you import the Midi, it'll go directly on top of that track. Give it a little test, hit play, make sure all your audio is working right. If not, you'll have to go back and figure out what you missed. I'd even suggest soloing each track, that way you can make sure all your labeled tracks are receiving the right drum piece. After everything works, you have two options. You can either leave the tracks as they are, or you can render them down to a WAV file. I'd advise going the WAV file option. It'll save you some memory on your computer, especially when you get further into the project. Select all your mono tracks, go to render/freeze, and then render them to mono. Depending on how long your song is, this might take a few seconds. So now that all your mono wave tracks are in place, you want to go ahead and do the exact same thing for your stereo MIDI tracks. So basically your overheads and any room mics. The only difference this time when you render it down is instead of going to mono, go to stereo. So now you can see all the wave files have been completed. Some people like to work on them in the spots they're in, starting from scratch. Myself, I like to take them and move them down to tracks that I already have designed for each drum piece, with routing already done. One suggestion I do have now that everything is done is to save this file, and then after you do that, save as a new file. I usually do version 1 as this file, and then the second file I'll do version 2. That way if you ever have to come back, you still have all your MIDI in line and you don't have to backtrack. And that's pretty much it. Hopefully you guys found this video informative and it wasn't too much of a mess. Take care.